All right, let's jump right into our next segment, which features government's perspective on DIPAM's corporate composite strategy. First up, please join me in welcoming Varshney and present a traditional green gift of trees to him. Thank you. Thank you, sir. It's a tradition that we continue year on year, and it's a pleasure to keep giving it to you year on year. And with that, I'll hand over the reins of this conversation to Ms. Venkatesh. Over to you, ma'am.
I'm coming in between a very good conversation which you are going to witness immediately. 30 seconds quick introduction of Mr. Varshney. Apart from the whole-time member of SEBI, earlier he is also a revenue service officer. So in his past avatar, which is quite relevant to us, one of the schemes which he structured and implemented called Vivad Se Vishwas. That scheme is still going on, is very popular, and I was requesting him, he should actually bring up something like that in SEBI, so a lot of dispute goes on in SEBI actually can be taken care of, because Vivad Se Vishwas actually brought a lot of tax disputes down. The second part is I briefly touched upon the inter-regulatory body which we are trying to position between SEBI, RBI and Department of Corporate Affairs, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, because that can actually reduce a lot of decision-making time which is required at various levels, because there are a number of issues which actually intertwine between the different areas. So those are the areas which we would like him from the FICCI side to focus on. Over to you, Lata.
Thanks a lot, Sunil. Well, our guest today, Mr. Kamlesh Varshney, handles a bunch of very important portfolios in SEBI. He is in charge of surveillance. That's the most important for market participants, and of course also in charge of many market intermediaries, like most important fin-influencers, the registered investment advisors, all that come under his ken. More important, corporate finance departments, IPO, mergers, acquisitions, all that come under Mr. Varshney, as well corporate fraud. And he is the legal brain of SEBI as well. So an all-important guest today, and we are hoping to elicit a lot of new directions in which SEBI is working. Well, first up, Mr. Varshney, thank you very much for joining us. An honor for me. I want to start with what is uppermost in the minds of media and the market, Jane Street. I mean, is that the only surveillance, or one would assume, you know, the word millennium also cropped up in the papers because of the fight they had. Are there other high-frequency trading guys whom you all are, surveying?
Lata, that's not fair. आपने तो पहले ही यॉर्कर मार दी. You should have given some warm-up deliveries first. So talking about this, you know, we generally don't comment on individual investigation, but keeping that individual name aside, whatever investigation or surveillance that we do, it is a kind of system that we have inside in our surveillance is whenever there is a violation, it comes out as an alert, and then further examination or investigation takes place. That alert is agnostic of any individual. So if one person is doing a violation, that alert will come. Somebody else is doing that violation, that alert will come again. So if there is anybody else as well doing that violation, so that will also be under examination. But what is the result of that examination, that probably we cannot share. On this specific F&O, we have constituted a special team inside surveillance department along with NSE. So we are strengthening our surveillance. We are strengthening, NSE is strengthening its own surveillance, and we are working in coordination with each other. And if you remember, Chairman Sir has said some time back that, that we are PhD, right? So we are actually hiring PhD students to help us in our surveillance work. And so we hope that if there is any violation, further violation than what we have noticed, all that would be examined and brought to book.
Okay, that's excellent, sir. You know, this is like Sehwag or Suryavanshi. I mean, first shot itself is a boundary. So, I mean, most welcome. This is very important that there is a special committee within both SEBI and NSE to look at surveillance more closely. But this committee came later because if this committee was there, you would have caught Jane Street even earlier.
No. So even in that case also, both SEBI and NSE work together. Okay. So it's not that they did not work together. This is now a specialized, focused cell with expertise.
Okay.
Right, because we do understand that we need special expertise to understand some of the manipulations. Yes. So try to understand. See, there is one manipulation which has been noticed, which is gamma manipulation. There could be, I'm not saying it is there, but there could be vegas, there are thetas. So there are a lot of things which happen in F&O market.
Yes.
And there are special people who understand that particular expertise.
No, I absolutely take your point. You know, the guys who are designing these algos are PhDs in mathematics. That was very obvious in the Jane Street case. So, you know, you have to beat a PhD with a PhD. I take a point of that. No, my only point was, you know, this Jane Street Millennium thing came in the papers. So was SEBI late? Did the surveillance catch it a little late?
No, not at all. I don't think. See,
Okay.
what happens that, you know, every examination within SEBI takes time, and not SEBI, any enforcement agencies. Okay. So it is not that, it's very easy to say somebody is doing that violation, but that is not enough for us to act. We have to go to the root of that particular violation and establish it, because it has to be sustained in court of law also. It is not that SEBI has passed an order and that is the final word. So a lot of work is required to be done. Therefore, it takes time, but it gets done.
No, absolutely. I mean, I have complete respect for the work that SEBI is doing. And, you know, just preponderance of evidence is not enough. Yeah. It has to be foolproof in law. Right. As we have realized, you have an appellate authority and a court to answer to. Let me come to the related party. I have a feeling you're going to duck this question. What about, you know, the F&O rules? The chairman hinted that there is going to be some extension of tenure or improvement of tenure. Can you enlighten us anything more on what's happening?
See, first of all, this while surveillance is under me, F&O market as such is under my fellow WTM Anand. He is coming in the afternoon, so maybe if there is an opportunity, one can ask question to him. So I won't be able to answer the policy question on his side, but what chairman said in the morning, I was also sitting here. What he said is, whatever we are going to do in consultation with everyone. So it is not something which is going to happen suddenly. And I also remember that sometime back in NSE function, when he was asked this question, he said there is no such proposal. So, you know, so you have to read everything together. We don't do anything suddenly. There is, what he said was there was no such proposal. What specific anything to F&O, that Anant will be able to answer.
Okay. Well, we did kind of doorstop the chairman, and he said, yes, a consultation paper will come. Yeah. And an improvement in the tenure is what he said. Right. So I assume it will be something more than weekly. We will know when the consultation paper comes. There was another thing which he said, which directly falls into your terrain. He said, can we look at a project where pre-IPO companies can trade with certain disclosures? Can you just, IPO is your area, if you can tell us what exactly is this pre-IPO plan?
Yeah, so this is also work in progress. The idea is that, you know, there is a market which is happening, what we call it a gray market. Can it be regulated, you know, within the eyes of law? Before IPO, if it is a regulated, you know, that can help in price discovery. If it is regulated, then government also gets its due share of revenue, taxes, whatever it is. So it is in the interest of everybody if it can be regulated and a proper regime is made out with checks and balances. So that we are working on. If we can see, we can do it. We have a primary market advisory committee. We will discuss with them. If some thing comes out, we will discuss with all stakeholders. And then we will see how it goes forward.
Okay. So it will be another platform.
Yeah, that's right.
where the trading will happen. Okay, speaking about pre-IPOs, the obvious question which I think everyone has in their mind, when will the NSE IPO come? When will SEBI give the green flag? I think that will be your prerogative.
Yeah, but right now they have not filed draft red herring prospectus, so I don't know when are they going to file. But on general IPO, I can say, our timeline is reducing. So last year, we had applications which were on an average around 16 applications per month, and we were able to process 13 applications per month on an average.
Okay.
That was last year, although all of them did not come for listing because there were only 79 listing, and I'm giving this data of main board, not
Yes.
SME board.
Yes.
But that is a good thing because so many IPOs are waiting for the right time to enter the market, which already have approval in place. We saw that number of applications are suddenly rising. So we increased our processing capacity to 15 per month in the first 3 months of this year. And we found even that was not good enough because in the month of July itself, we received 31 applications. So we processed 21 applications in the month of July, which is the highest so far. And this month, we are going to process 35 to 40 applications.
Many congratulations and thanks, sir.
So idea is that whatever is the backlog, we don't want a backlog of more than 2-3 months. So except some difficult cases
Yes.
where there is some kind of a violation, obviously we need to be mindful of that. But otherwise, we are strengthening our team because we do understand that while Indian growth story is important for development of capital market development also plays an important role for Indian growth story. So we want to ensure that if people are interested in coming to tap the market, their application gets processed within reasonable time.
So you have some target. I mean, you were averaging about 4 months for a permission last year. Are you targeting some 3 months, 2 months, something?
Yeah, so I can say that, of course, when I say there would be a bit of a variation, but by 31st August, we are planning that all 30th June application be disposed of, except those which are difficult.
Excellent. I mean, that's a very big positive for the capital markets. Let me come to the other big issue that SEBI took kind of the bull by the horns, the FinInfluencers issue. I mean, you all came with a whole host of rules and removed this from the market. We got some indication that you all are catching some big fellow, big company, especially that you all were working during the rains, the last 48 hours. Can you tell us anything? Some big culprit is netted?
Yes. I mean, I will not call that culprit. We have to be very careful how do we phrase our word. But yes, we did carry out one search operation yesterday. It's a big name in that industry. And I must give credit to my team because we have been working on this case. Last week, we decided that we will do the search operation on Wednesday, that is yesterday. And then there was suddenly red alert in Mumbai. So I asked my team that, are you sure that you want to go ahead? Because before the search, lot of work is required to be done. Lot of field work is required to be done, not office work. You have to be on field doing certain kind of activities, which I can't tell you. But that is very difficult to perform when the Mumbai is flooded. But team members said, we will do it, and they did it. So I can't comment on what kind of evidences have been collected. It is not proper unless we examine them. But yes, we have carried out a big search operation on some big name in this industry. Because idea is, this chairman has given a very clear direction that quality is more important than number. So your enforcement action must be directed at big people where you can show impact. See, what is the idea of enforcement? Enforcement is not for revenue collection. That is, sorry, I'm using this word because of my previous background. But idea is to create a fear in the market that there is a law enforcement agency, there is a regulator who is watching you, so people follow the law voluntarily. So that is the purpose of enforcement, and that purpose is best achieved by focusing on big people and showing that, SEBI is effectively watching everyone. And in fact, I want to clarify one thing here. While we are doing surveillance on all big influencers, the team has very good system of actually knowing what is happening in their classroom. There are some good people, so we should not blame them with the black ink, everyone. There are some good people who are actually doing education. So if they are doing education, we have no problem. But if in the name of education, if you are misguiding youth, you are giving guaranteed return performance, you are giving call in the classroom that invest here, buy this stock, sell this stock, you are using live data to trade in equity market, that you cannot do without having SEBI registration and without following our rules and regulations. So, this is one thing I want to clarify, but it is nothing against those who are actually doing education. We want them to do education because that is in line with our program of investor education.
Well, that is, bringing me to several other questions. First of all, many congratulations for the point you are making. The demonstration effect is very important, and I guess both in terms of Jane Street and now the case that you all are handling, the demonstration effect will be very important. But considering that, after Jane Street, are people behaving differently? Has some message gone to the market in terms of high-frequency traders and F&O?
So I think this answer could best be given by the people on the other side. Okay. But from my side, if you ask me, that will only be half answer. But my side, yes, I do see a positive
change
impact.
in behavior. Yeah. Okay. Well, actually, let me prod a little more on that. SEBI has been taking a lot of action via surveillance. We know that over the last 4 years, you all have improved your technology manifold. Yeah. Somebody told me in SEBI that you all have something like, who got lucky? So if a mutual fund trade happened, then who else bought the same share 1 minute before, 5 minutes before, 15 minutes before? Who got lucky? I believe you all have some algo like that. Now, can you tell us what more needs to be done? In spite of your best efforts, violations happen. Anything further that you all are doing?
Yeah, so what we are doing is that we work in coordination with other law enforcement agencies. They come and see our surveillance system and they feel really happy seeing our surveillance system. They learn from us and we go and see their surveillance system and then we learn from them. So it is a mutual...
that is the advantage of getting an IRS officer.
Thank you. And also, we develop new tools. For example, we see new kind of violation in the market, then we automize it. That without manual interpretation, we will come to know. See, one advantage which SEBI has vis-a-vis income tax department is that we have live data with us. So we can put technology on that live data and catch hold of violation. Income tax department does not get live data. It is after 3 months when TDS returns are filed or after 1 year when AIS are filed. So they don't have that advantage. But here there is an advantage because you get live data, you can actually put your surveillance tool on them.
That's a fair point, sir. While on that matter, it's just, again, a very journalistic question. In the Viresh Mehta case, the amount that the income tax authorities and all showed was very high. Your initial penalty was small. So should we expect a further order? So
once again, it's not good to comment on individual case, but we are always in coordination with other law enforcement agencies. So if something was done in this case by SEBI, that information must have been shared with the ED. Now, if ED, through their investigation, have found something more, that will come to us. Now, one important point here we should keep in mind is that what we investigate and find out may not be a predicate offense. So ED, it may not be relevant for ED. Similarly, what ED finds out a predicate offense may not be a security law violation. But yes, there would be many cases where we help each other and we are helping each other.
That's very good to hear, because that economizes and optimizes government's surveillance efforts. We were talking about fin influencers. Now, the right side of fin influencers is obviously registered investment advisors. I'll tell you a personal tale about RIAs. somebody asked me, what will you do after journalism, after retirement? I was thinking, oh, I know a little bit about personal finance. If I do a NISM course or something, I should be able to do personal finance maybe after retirement. And that guy said, do you know what it means to be an RIA? You need that 1600 helpline, 2 lakh rupees. You need a website which is accessible for challenged people. That is some 6 lakhs. Even getting that audit is very difficult. And then you have your fees cap. He gave me a list which was very daunting. Is it so difficult to be an RIA? Should it not be easier?
So I think talking about whether it should be easier, let us go back to 2 years back, what it was before and what it is now. I will come to all your 3 points later. Educational qualifications has been relaxed, experience has been relaxed. NISM examination, earlier it was that every 3 years you have to go NISM examination. So when I heard that, I said, boss, if you ask, I am from IRS, right, cleared civil services. If you had asked me to clear civil services every 3 years, I would not have cleared. So they have now come out with incremental examination. That means every 3 years only those questions will come which are the new regulation changes in IARA regulation. So you only have to know that. So that changes which has been hugely welcomed by IA industry, RA industry. Lot of other changes we have done. Fees, we have make it fungible. So either you can have 1.51 lakh rupees per annum or you can have some percentage, I think I've forgotten, of AUM.
The capital managed.
And you can change within the year, you can change it. So that flexibility is there. Right. I mean, some people say, why should be there? We should be a cap. It is a trade-off between investor protection and, IAS concern. We had some experience from Indore in the past. So this is a legacy of that. But this is something which can always be looked in the future. 1600 is investor protection measures taken by Department of Telecom. So idea is that if you want to call your client, you must call from 1600 number. Otherwise, we know so many fake calls are coming, which is in fact very good. But cost element is one thing which could be prohibitive in this. So we are in discussion with Department of Telecom how to make it cost effective. About that website, now I don't know whether 6 lakhs is a cost, but that is a mandate from Supreme Court of India that every intermediary must have a website which is accessible by a specially able person. So now that is a requirement of the law of this land. But once again, whether how to reduce the cost is something which can always be worked upon and we should be worked upon.
No, I'm just telling you this data that I picked up from your annual reports. In 24-25 annual report, you all say the RIAs have fallen to 931. In the previous year, it was 969. And out of these, about 300-400 people are not filing annual data, which means they are going to drop off in your next annual report. That's not a very happy thing, no? Because most people are therefore not becoming IAs, and if they don't become IAs, many of us are going to do our own financial planning, which will be amateurish. That's not a very good thing.
So once again, how you present the data is, can form a different view. Now I will present the data in a different context. 400 IAs in the year that you pick up financial year 25, 400 IAs had not paid the fees. Now, we had a system where it was a long drawn process that if an intermediary has not paid a fees, how do we cancel his license? It was a very long drawn process. We came out with summary assessment last year. So using that, those 400 licenses were cancelled because they were to be cancelled. Then we also did another regulatory change that was, there was a confusion that trading call, whether it falls into the domain of IA or whether it falls into the domain of RA. We clarified it falls into the domain of RA. And IA area wanted it to be that way. Yeah. So another 100 shifted to that side. So when you see that data, it does not take into consideration these 400 and 100. That is one thing. Second thing is, which is very important, that we should not, so if we take this 400, 500, you will actually see a growth. Second thing is that we should not compare growth of IA with the growth of AUM or growth of investor in India. We are encouraging people to follow SIP, follow mutual fund. Now, these are the investment which do not require IA. Similarly, high net worth individuals also do not require IA because they have family office, they go through AIF and all those routes. It is somewhere in between. So IAs are required. I am not saying it is not required, but the target population is, what is important to consider. So IA numbers will increase because we did first round of
The trading call guys were removed. That's true.
So we did first round of reform, what I told you just now. Another round of reform is there in front of them in the way of consultation paper. So when we did first round of reform, our area was very happy. And they did say that only 2 things are left out at that point of time. So then my answer was to them कि हर किसी को हर चीज नहीं मिलती, हर किसी को मुकम्मल जहां नहीं मिलता. But now we have addressed those 2 issues also. One is that they want secondary opinion fees also, which in the consultation paper we have allowed. Then the second was that we are coming out with PARVA. That is, everybody who wants to advertise their performance has to go through that agency, which is going to be notified very soon. But then they were saying, what about our past performance? So we have come out with a system of how you can
Scores.
tell past performance to client also. So that also we have given a proposal in the consultation paper, which is already out. So those things are happening. Every month we meet IA and RAs, every month. And whatever are their problems, we try to resolve. And I think with this collaborative approach, we have seen very good growth in research analyst numbers. Last year, there was a 30% increase. And within this 4 months, there is already 15% increase. So I think we are getting there where we want it to be.
Fair enough. I think I took a little more time for the investment advisors. Let me quickly get through this buyback thing. There were the companies are always complaining, or investors are. Buybacks, market buyback, no chance of it coming back. I mean, SEBI removed it because people were supporting their shares by announcing a market buyback and then not implementing it at all.
But is it required? The question is there a market appetite for it?
It's very common abroad. That's why
Yeah, the common abroad because it is common in USA, but USA system is different. Number one, they have a treasury stock, so they don't write off from there immediately. They use that to give ESOP later, or maybe they write off later, but not immediately. And they have a different taxation system, right? In July 2024,
here it is
the
like
taxation
dividend
system,
distribution.
the advantage of taxation has gone. Because now buyback is taxed as a dividend in the hand of investor, not buyback tax in the hand of company. So that tax advantage is no longer there. So in fact, we have not, this window which you are talking about was open till 31st March 2025. But there was not even a single case from November 2023. Because there is a concern here. See, tender route is still there. In tender route, it is proportionate buyback. The proportionate shareholding does not change.
And corporates are bound to do it. Once
Yes.
you give your word, you have
Yes.
to buy.
And so that proportionate holding does not change. So if you see that economic concept that buyback is a dividend and not actually change of shareholding, then tender route is the ideal route.
No, it's a good route. It's just that, investors always want more, especially when they compare themselves with foreign countries. I think we are running out of time. So just a final question. The IPA rules were modified, tried to make it easier for larger companies. I assume you have NSE in mind because it's a large one. Anything else we should expect in IPO? Deepening the market, SPACs was already there. Anything else that is on your mind?
See, SPAC I don't think will work in India because we want disclosure-based regime in IPO, and in SPAC there is nothing to disclose because you don't know where you're going to invest. So that probably
It's an
will
empty
not.
company.
Yeah, this is an empty company. That probably won't work in India. But deepening the market is the prerogative. Chairman also said it that, particularly this pre-IPO, he talked about reducing friction. How do we reduce the cost? How do we, increase market participants? So those things are being worked upon. This consultation paper, which was out, where we have given more time for IPOs to work on it, is very important. One concern I like to, because it came out in one leading newspaper today. So that, remember, when the new proposal, I think facts were not presented in that by that leading newspaper correctly, because 5 lakh and above, earlier it was 5,000 crore plus 5% of post issue capital. Now it was 5 lakh. It was 5,000 plus 5%, and now it is 15,000 plus 1%. So it is not that it has gone down drastically. Earlier you were to come out with an open offer of 30,000 crore, which was actually 6%. Now you have to come out with an open offer of 20,000 crore, which is 4%. And this is also not less. What the concern which has been raised in that paper is that what about investor safety and manipulation? See, that 25% MPS threshold, try to understand, is same whether you are a 50,000 company or you are 5 lakh crore company. Now, for 5 lakh crore, 25% is 1,25,000. Now, if you ask whether there is an appetite for the market for such a large IPO, so you have to, and are we compromising risk? In my view, we are not compromising risk, because even with this 20,000 crore initial public offer, there are enough shares in the market which
to create a float,
to create a float, to create liquidity, and not to have manipulation.
No, absolutely. For price discovery, 20,000 crore would be a very decent number. Mr. Varshney, thank you very much for patiently answering so many questions. I could have gone on for another half an hour, but we have the secretary waiting by for the next interview. Thank you very much, and thank you, FICCI, for treating us to such a conversation.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, we did not expect anything less, ma'am. Thank you very much. And sir, thank you for all your candid perspectives.